Ukraine war escalates and nuclear war threat seriously. The U.S. is taking seriously Vladimir Putin's failed threats to use nuclear weapons to defend areas in Ukraine, a top White House official told the BBC. John Kirby said the U.S. was not changing its strategic deterrent posture, but that Mr. Putin spoke irresponsibly. On Wednesday, Russia's leader warned his country would use all the means at its disposal to protect its territory. It came as 4 Ukrainian regions part occupied by Russian forces are about to stage snap votes on joining Russia. Ukraine and its allies call these votes a sham exercise, designed to give spurious legitimacy to an illegal annexation. It is a dangerous precedent for Mr. Putin to be using this kind of rhetoric in the context of a war clearly that he's losing inside Ukraine, National Security Council spokesman Mr. Kirby told the BBC. We have to take these threats seriously, and we do. We've been monitoring, as best we can, his nuclear capabilities. I can tell you that we don't see any indication that we need to change our strategic deterrent posture at this point. He dismissed plans for Russia to annex further parts of Ukraine as nothing more than a ploy by Vladimir Putin to try to gain, through politics and electoral issues, that which he cannot gain militarily. Ukraine war escalates and nuclear war threat seriously. But it's not going to work, he said. No one's going to recognize it. And what needs to happen is Mr. Putin needs to leave Ukraine. He needs to stop this war. Russia's conduct in Ukraine was strongly condemned at a special meeting of the UN Security Council in New York on Thursday. But it's not going to work, said U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. This from a country that in January of this year joined the other permanent members of the Security Council in signing a statement affirming that nuclear war can never be won and must never be fought. Former Russian leader Dmitry Medvedev said in a statement on social media on Thursday that the means by which Russia would defend itself included this from a country that in January of this year joined the other permanent members of the Security Council in signing a statement affirming that nuclear war can never be won and must never be fought. There's an attempt today to impose on us a completely different narrative to show Russian aggression as the origin of all the tragedy, Mr. Lavrov said. There's an attempt today to impose on us a completely different narrative to show Russian aggression as the origin of all the tragedy. Ukraine war escalates and nuclear war threat seriously. Russia attempts to justify its invasion by saying it is fighting neo-Nazis, a claim widely dismissed by the international community, as well as resisting NATO expansion. In his speech on Wednesday, President Putin also announced a call up for reservists in a move analysts say is a sign that Russia's forces in Ukraine are struggling to hold on to the strip of territory they occupy in the east and south.